to do a quick exercise, or I'm going to do a quick exercise with you on screen. Remember, I said I want you to kind of go look at some typical websites. Think about anything you can come up with and try to go find a website that has something to do with that. So right now I'm looking at a fitness and training website, and so if we look at what this website has on it, let's look at there's the logo, there's the phone number way up high, we've got social media and email, we've got home, about us, personal training, training programs, pricing, scheduling, events, blogs, contact, store. Okay, under about, I noticed there's a gallery. So if we were to peruse some of this, again, the only one that has anything under it is the gallery. So unfortunately, I'm kind of trapped with this one. I don't like how that menu works, but you've got this. You can look at some of the page structure. I'm not that worried about page structure. You notice some pages have a ton of text on it. You have some pages that have more image presence, but still a lot of text. But I want you to first start by looking at this top level right up here where we've got this here. Specifically, the top menu. Here is what we're going to be diagramming. All right, so maybe your thing is not a fitness studio, but remember, I'm looking at the overall average. So I want you to remember kind of what was up here. These two right here, these seem like they're products and services. Okay, they have personal training and training programs. They have events. They have blog, contact. They have a store, which I'm curious if they have anything in their store. No training. Nope, it doesn't seem like it goes anywhere. So a lot of these sites will have pages, especially when they're small town companies. They'll have pages that don't really go anywhere. But nonetheless, look at what they thought or what they planned to do. Let's take a look at another site. This one is Steve Cabanis Painting. And let's look here at their menu. Let's look at the top. We've got some kind of a logo with various colors. We've got a location, because apparently they think that maybe people are going to come to them. I would argue likely not. They have a phone number. Probably would get some type of phone call. And then hours that they tend to work. And of course, we've got home, we've got services. Check this out. We've got all these. We don't have anything that peels off of this. We do have areas of service. I think that's an important thing to do. I think they're missing some areas because there's way more area names around here than just these four. And then they have a contact page. I have a philosophy, my own personal philosophy on how I do contact and contact pages. But nonetheless, we see these four main top areas: home, services, areas of service, and contacts. Then we have these sub-menu items, okay? So that structure. If we were to diagram this, what would that look like? All right, so we've seen these two. Now let's look at this one here. Oh, wow, this one has a pop-up, like a coupon of some sort. I'm not going to get into my opinions on these. It'll be pretty clear that I think they're useless a lot of times. But once we get past that, and now we can see the top, we're looking at an orthodontics company, clinic. And if we look at the top area, we notice what's in that top area. The ability to schedule an appointment seems to be very important, as well as to call. And then we have their logo. Below that logo, we have our menu, which is home, offices, Invisalign, meet the doctors, blog, and contact us. So if we were to look at these, we would start with home. We would then go to offices. Oh, check it out. They've got two. So maybe what would this structure look like if we built it out of Post-it notes? Invisalign seems to be a standalone page. Meet the doctors. We got these two. We got a blog, and then contact us. So how would you diagram this out with Post-it notes? Let's look at one more. We've got a website. This is West Salem Baptist, where the homeschool co-op meets. They feel strongly about this menu structure, and we've got about, or well, of course we got home, we got about, we've got 4 things under the about, we've got sermons, and then how those sermons are broken up. We've got our ministries, we got the events page, we've got contact and resources. Also, if we look up top, these would not be in our post-it note thing, but I do want you to notice that they put their social media up here. What are things that if you were doing this, like if you were diagramming this one, how would you diagram this with these submenus? How would you diagram that with post-it notes? And then we might talk future facing, like if you were being given this website to rebuild or redesign, what would you add or take away from this structure? Lastly, I'm going to take a quick look here at Jay's Heating, Air, and Plumbing. Let's look at the functions and stuff that we would diagram up here. Starting with, it seems schedule now is a fairly important thing. You can shop, you can also build a price system, I don't know what that means, and get in touch. At the same time, home page is nowhere up here. You don't see home. You see HVAC with this submenu, and some of these have submenus outside of them. You have plumbing, and these submenus, again, some have others underneath those. So how would you diagram that with post-it notes? And we keep looking through these, and we say, you know what? This is how this one would be built. About seems to be oddly placed way over here. And again, we've got submenus, we've got submenus, specials, financing. I am going to call attention to one last thing that you see here. Well, I'm going to say 2 things. You've got this chat service right here. And then you have this down here. These would not necessarily be in your post-it note structure, nor would this right here. But later on, we might talk about those little oddball extra functions that are often added to websites. Now, quickly, schedule today and schedule now. I'm assuming these 2 go to the same place. And I'm not going to click to find out. But how would you look at these websites and diagram each one individually? As we look at these, now I want to ask you one more question. Are there some commonalities that each of these sites have? For example, this one has an about page. This one has an about page. Does this one have an about page? It seems like it does not have that word, but it does have offices and meet the doctors. Could those be considered about pages? Don't know. This one has home services, areas of service, and contact us. And this one does have an about us page. So that might be something we can go, you know what? More than likely, out of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 websites, out of these 5 websites, 3 of them have about. That's a better than 50% chance that you should have an about page. However, this one has an HVAC page. Unless your website is specifically about HVAC, probably that wouldn't be something you would have on your site. But you notice that contact seems to be, contact seems to be in all of them. So we've got contact us, we've got contact us, contact us, contact, and lastly contact. So we could then say your website will most likely have some way to contact people. And I have some ideas about that. If you'll notice that this site in particular has 2 ways to contact you: get in touch and then contact down here. And this right here, so multiple ways to get in contact. Is that good? Is that bad? It also has this weird shop button that it seems like an odd place to put a button. It seems kind of out of place, and it doesn't seem to match anything. Again, my first question and your assignment here is, how would you go about diagramming this site with post-it notes? All right. And now we're going to move towards the post-it notes themselves, and we're going to discuss that.